Well, hello and welcome, friends, to the Bradford National Bank podcast studio here in beautiful downtown Highland, Illinois. This is the Highland Dirt Podcast. Let's frickin' go. I'm your host, Kurt Vonder. Haar. How's everybody doing tonight? You doing all right? I'm a little fired up, guys. We're only 2 days away from live racing at world famous Highland Speedway. Hello to all of our friends watching live on social media via Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you have questions for us during the podcast, put them in the comments section. We will do our best to get to them. We got a great show for you tonight. Joining us on the podcast will be our co-host, as always, Jacob Blumenstein. And our special guest tonight is modified driver of the 87Z, the Z-Man, Zeb Moake. So the Highland Dirt Podcast is brought to you today by Jansen Auto Group. Hundreds of vehicles are available right now at gojansen.com with Jansen Ford a Breeze, Jansen Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Carmi, and Jansen Chevrolet in Germantown. They have just the vehicle you're looking for. You can search their entire inventory at gojansen.com. That's gojansen.com. Jansen Auto Group is proud to support local dirt track racing and world famous Highland Speedway. So you might be asking yourself, what is the Highland Dirt Podcast? Well, the Highland Dirt Podcast features dirt racing talk plus news, information, and interviews from some of your favorite people and personalities in and around Highland Speedway. Well, next question. What is Highland Speedway? For those of you not in the know, Highland Speedway is a quarter-mile bullring-style dirt track. We're located in Highland, Illinois, about 30 minutes east of St. Louis, Missouri. We've been racing in the dirt on Saturday nights since 1962. We race super late models, modifieds, pro mods, street stocks, all under the dirt car banner. plus micro sprints, 410 wing sprints, Extreme Outlaw Series, 4 cylinders, vintage and kids mods, all in a covered facility with seating for 3,000, soon to be 4,000. Located on the beautiful Madison County Fairgrounds. Did you get all that? Did you take notes? Well, now that you know a little bit more about the podcast, you got a brief history lesson on Highland Speedway. Let me introduce my co-host for tonight. He's competing in the Warrior division this year, I believe in the number 51. He watches more dirt streaming services than you do. I guarantee that. And he's a big-time fan, longtime fan of Highland Speedway. It's Jacob Blumenstein. What's up, Jacob?
What's going on, Kurt?
Man, I'm doing good. You getting excited? Racing's going to be here soon.
I am. I'm actually off Saturday, so it's not too often I get a Saturday off where I race. So I'm hoping I can get there a little bit early and get to hang out instead of barely making it in time for pillow draw and driver's meeting.
There you go. Well, and races are going to get started 30 minutes earlier this year. So gates are going to open at 5 p.m. instead of 5:30. That means we'll have cars on the track at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30 this year. So we're trying to get done in a little more timely basis this year, Jacob.
Yeah, I think it's good. I can appreciate when I get home early. So, some people work Saturday, so they work all day to go sit at the races, and I'm one of them where I have a long day and I'm home by 10 o'clock and not midnight.
Yeah, no, it's always good to get done early. The kids get to get done early, get to open up the pits, and kids get to go down to the pits. Some of their, first memories of the track are getting to do that. So we like to get done early. And, we were at open practice last night from 6 to 8 p.m. What'd you think of the new track surface?
I think it held up really well. I know for play days, it's kind of not 100%, but I think everyone was curious to see how the dirt was going to do. And I thought it held up well. I think it was good to get it packed. So I think it'll be a really good Saturday night.
Yeah, I know Alvin and the rest of the track prep crew, they'll be out there working hard. If they're not already out there, they might be out there tonight. Didn't stick my ear outside. I don't know if tractors are running on the track, but I would guarantee you they'll be out there tomorrow getting the track ready. And again, want to make sure everybody knows we're starting a half hour earlier this year. So cars on the track at 6 p.m. instead of 6:30 for hot laps. Gates will open at 5 p.m. instead of 5:30. Pits will still open at 3 p.m. though for all the drivers and for the early arrivals. So maybe besides opening night, I know that's one thing you're looking forward to, Jacob. What else? What's one other thing you're looking forward to at Highland this year?
I'm pretty excited about the Mod Mars show in early April. I think it's cool. We kind of get two Mars shows. I know one's we don't have late models, and pretty excited about the World of Outlaws. And then I wish I would have said it in the week 1 episode, and I didn't. But one of the things I'm looking forward to is the 24-hour laps for leaps at the end of the year. That's an awesome event. I've competed in it twice. I've yet to finish it, so I'd like to at least finish it before we call it a wrap.
Yeah, that's the capstone on the season for Highland Speedway. The last date for the season, September 27th. That's a Friday for the 24-hour laps for leaps. Definitely a marquee event to have a 24-hour race at our track, right?
Definitely. I know the first year it was big. I think it was bigger than they kind of expected. And I think last year was just unbelievable on how many more teams they got, how much more people showed up. So I know they want to do better, and I think it's going to be tough to beat how well things go for that event and how many people show up.
Yeah, no, it's a growing event. They're already locked in. The 40 cars are locked in already. They didn't have any problem filling, I think, the 7 or 8 slots that were available. So yeah, gonna be interesting. Well, let's really quick before we bring on our guest, Zeb Moake, let's talk about the 2023 Trek champions. So Michael Kloos, he was the run his third straight bi-state battle last year, going for his 4th straight Highland Speedway championship in the late models. What do you think about Michael Kloos's chance?
I think his chances are high. I'll be curious to see how many run the bi-state battle and stick around Highland, to run that every week. I think that'll be cool to see how it goes. And I'd say Cluse's chances are as good as anybody's.
Yep. And some other guys we should be watching locally. I think Jordan Bauer is going to be back running this year. And he's always one to watch. And Darren Klein looks ready. We got some guys that run well here and that also run a lot of the summer nationals races too. Wouldn't it be cool to see one of our Highland guys win a out of town summer nationals race?
Oh, absolutely. I know it was big when Zobrist did it, and it'd be cool to see. It's cool when a local guy wins at your home track, but maybe kind of like Harrison won Tri City. That's a big deal.
Yep, it sure is. And in our modified division, Owen Steinkenny, one of our young talented drivers at Highland, he picked up his first track championship in 2023, 6 feature wins, strong showings, I think, in all the big mod shows. So, what do you think it'll take for him to repeat in one of the most competitive classes at the track?
I think, it'll kind of boil down to if he branches out. I know that was his second year in that mod, but he committed to running Highland. And, you can have anyone drop in, be long randomly when he's back. Dean Hoffman, Harrison, it, you don't know who's going to show up, but, I think if he decides to run weekly, I think he's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yep. Move on to our Pro Mod division. Cole Knable, another one of our young guns. He won his first Pro Mod Trek Championship. We had him on last week. Sorry that we missed you last week, Jacob, on the podcast. But we had Cole and his dad, Billy. Cole won his first Trek Championship at 19 years old. What were you doing at 19?
Playing beer league hockey and golfing. That was working
Not winning
part-time.
Trek Championships?
No. That's when I didn't have a ride. Had a 10-year hiatus from the junior dragster days to wheeling the Warrior car now. So,
well, do we have a star in the making on our hands? I mean, he certainly has the pedigree. He won a Trek Championship in just his second year behind the wheel. His dad, his grandpa won Trek Championships. What do you think?
yeah, I think he has potential. I think he won his first race this year, and he's only been doing this 2 years, so it looks like he picked it up pretty quick. So, the potential's there. It's just one of those things. Racing's expensive, and it's just kind of how much do you want to pour into it to move on. That's what holds some of these guys back. Is just it costs so much. Where I wouldn't say they're content in the B mods. It's just what they can afford to do.
Yep. And with Cole's driving style, and he'll be the first to admit this, he likes to send it. So
Mm-hmm.
that can cause a little damage and make for extra work, getting back there for the next weekend. And the street stocks, Trevor Isaac. I mean, what more can we say? 10 wins last year at Highland, several wins at other area tracks, won the track championship in street stocks for the 6th year in a row. And he dominates not just here, but at other tracks as well.
Yeah, I think he's the guy to beat. And if he runs Highland again every week, I think he's going to be tough to beat. And there's been nights he started in the back and makes his way to the front. So if I'm a bet man, I'm going to put my money on Trevor.
Yep. And we I did a couple of the driver interviews at the races last year when Doug was having a little bit of an issue with his back, and I got to interview Trevor Isaac. And so I thought I'm going to ask him. I said, we'd love to see you, in a B mod or an A mod. What are the chances? And of course, his answer, I think, was, well, if somebody's got a ride for me, I'll do it. So, hey, if you're listening out there, if you got a ride or if you're laid up, let's get Trevor Isaac in a B mod or in an A mod. Heck, even a late model. Let's get him in one of the other classes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Trevor's got the talent to do it. He's definitely got the equipment, but I would say driving talent wise, he's up there. He's not afraid to go run halfway up the track, put her on the wall. Like, he's got the talent. If his car is not right, I think he's one that, the driver does make a difference.
Yep. And in your division, the Warrior division, Caden Pate, the young kid from Aviston, won his first track championship. He was out there last night at practice. So are you going to take it easy on the kid?
I mean, it's competition, kid, adult. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm out there to have fun. Yeah, I would like to win, but I don't know. It's not sure what I got to say on that one. Nothing bad, but it's honestly, me and Dad are going to be doing it again. I think that's going to be the biggest competition and the guy that I do want to beat. So,
and your dad picked up a win last year, right?
Yeah. The
in the first night out.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to go. I made some changes to the car. Just I bought some new suspension parts. Who knows how old the parts were on, like how old they were on the car. Dad's car, I know he's upgraded. And I'm not saying upgraded, just replaced stock suspension. I know the car he's got, Sean bought, and it's got over 300,000 miles on it. So she was clapped out. So when we were replacing shocks and stuff, I think Sean's boy Lucas could have pushed the shocks in. I mean, it was just it was worn out.
Well, it'll be fun to see the Warrior division. Hopefully it's going to be growing. Last year, I think there were some nights we had 10 or 12 cars out there, so it's going to be fun to see. Well, Jacob, let's bring on our guest for tonight. We've left him waiting for a little bit. So he's the driver of the 87Z Modified. I think he's one of the nicest guys out there, both on and off the track. Runs up front a lot, but he's still chasing that first elusive feature win at Highland. It's the 87Z, the Z-Man, Zeb Moake. What's up, Zeb?
How we doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, busy over here. Real busy.
Yeah, sounds like you've been chatting the last couple days. You've been getting the car ready?
Yeah, engine just went in, just got in a little bit ago, so it's they're out there messing with it right now. Dad and Willie the kid are out there right now, so I'm in the big truck right now, so it's a little quieter in here.
Gotcha. Well, let's first talk a little bit about 2023. So, you ran up front, just about every week. I mean, you were always up there. You got nipped at the line by 76 hundredths of a second by the destroyer Rick Canoyer, another one of the nice guys out there on the track, on opening night last year. So, tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull up a little video here and actually watch the ending of your race. So let's see So you got the lead. You're racing fair with the destroyer. Destroyer on the outside.
We had a couple of cautions, and he was coming up.
So you're running down low, catfishing. He's running the top, and every lap getting a little bit closer. And you raced him fair. I got to give you credit there.
I knew he was getting pretty slick. I knew he was there, but committed. So
right there, that was the spot.
He gave me a little bump, saying, "Hey, Zeb, you better get moving." He said, "Hey, better move it." So
one lap to go, and again, you could have windshield wiped. You could have blocked it a little bit, but you didn't.
Got a little room there.
And then he got the nose in.
Here, if I go out, he comes in. We're wrecking. So.
I mean,
it's close.
And I flashed, and that was really the first night the scoreboard really did us a favor. So we're like, oh, who won? And the destroyer Rick the Canoyer, with the finish there. So maybe talk a little bit about that night.
That was actually Chad and I were up front there, and Chad, I remember right, he pulled away a little bit, and then he threw a drive shaft. We had a battle going up there, and then I had the lead for a while, and I think there was a couple cautions, and then I kept looking at that scoreboard. That's kind of nice having that board. You can look at that and see your laps, see who's coming, what's going on. You got an idea where they're probably going to be. And of course, Ricky was probably coming on the top. So some cautions came in there, and you got close, and you not much you can do. You either wreck for the win or not. But I mean,
that was arguably, maybe one of the races of the year, and that was early on. I think that was the first night.
I did hear I get my car fixed. If I wrecked it for the win, it could be fixed for me. So
this year you make the driving style may be a little different for the 87Z.
No, I mean, wouldn't say that. We try to run good, but you're gonna have a little thing here and there.
But that was an exciting finish.
Rusty Griffall, that's the car I have. He built that car, and he did mention if I wreck it for the win, he'll fix it for me. So
put it on the old air jig over there.
Yeah, Yeah. So that was a good race. Me and Rick run. We raced a lot together. So
Yeah, we had a good night chatting one night. I don't think it was that night, but later on in the season, we were there late and we were chatting. You, myself, Rick Canoyer. He was kind of holding court, telling stories. So yeah, shout out to the Destroyer. Good guy.
There's never shorter stories. Yeah, not many shorter stories.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Zeb, we know racing's a tough and humbling sport. What has racing taught you where you can kind of take it in everyday life where, it's not just a racing deal, patience, temper. I mean, I don't know, but what can you take away from racing that you can, put towards other stuff?
There are a lot of emotions in racing. I mean, you do get mad. I mean, things happen fast, but you got to run with them guys again. So you learn to. I mean, you could win tonight and be maybe 10th tomorrow night or something, and it's humbling. You could say. It's very. It's difficult. The money aspect of it, to the time involved. It's kind of a lifestyle. It's it gives you a little discipline, you could say, on other things, I guess, to stick with it. But yeah, I mean, it just becomes kind of a way of life when you do it long enough, I guess. Just becomes part of you. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I think that's where tempers usually flare. Everyone wants to win, but
yeah,
it's
we've all been mad a time or two.
yeah, but I think it boils down to just more time and money. Like, if you get put in the wall in the backstretch, you get out of the car, it's like, all right, you can already kind of calculate that's X amount of dollars. Then, that's 10, 15 hours in the shop that you really didn't want to have to spend,
Try not to think about that because that's bad when you do. Bad when you start thinking about that stuff. Yeah, I mean, now with the cost being higher than it used to be, probably you could say tempers might get a little higher. I mean, everybody's competitive.
I mean, but you seem like one of the most even, tempered guys out there. When one of the other guys that might not be as even tempered as you, runs up to your window, in the middle of the track, you're just kind of like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Well, you probably, but I used to get a little more worked up back in the day. I mean, the helmet's gone flying and gotten out of the car and chase people around it, but you get a little older, I guess. You calm down, I guess.
I mean,
Willie's got all the stories.
How are you able now to stay so calm? I mean, is it kind of what you do for a living? Does that carry over? Does that bring some calmness to your life? Like, what is it?
I'm like Christian at work, so I don't know. It's just you just view it differently, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You just kind of go, well, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, but there's a fine line. You gotta hold your ground, but not be like a pushover. You gotta, if that makes sense.
Well, I know that you're not afraid to make your, to let people know what you're thinking. I've heard you come and talk to Sean after the races and let him know maybe about a certain call or things like that. But you do it in a very respectful way. I got to give you credit for that. And you let it out, you get it out. We listen. I know Sean tries to listen to everybody, but yeah, I've never seen you, so maybe we'll see you fired up when you're going for a win this year.
It does happen. It does.
Well, you're from Freeburg, right?
Yep, Freeburg.
Yep. So a little bit south of here in Highland. Belleville used to be your home track, right?
That's 10 minutes away.
Yeah. So tell us about your memories of Belclaire and what would it mean to you if it came back, when it's coming back.
That's a good place. That's the first track I started racing. Actually, 09, I sold all my flat track racing stuff, racing bikes and four-wheelers, and sold that and bought a turnkey modified. Never drove a car. Went out there and got lapped 5 times. I was the guy like, who is this guy? What is he doing? Get him out of here, But it turned around pretty quick. Just stick with it, tough little track. A lot of fun though. Put a lot of laps in there.
What was it? I mean, were you pretty nervous that first night?
Yeah, I couldn't. I think the belts, nothing fit right. The car wouldn't turn. I don't even remember. I looked like a 3-year-old driving the car.
So
It was.
how long did it take you? How long did it take you to start feeling comfortable behind the wheel?
10 years. No. Yeah, a while. I mean, a little bit. It turns on quick, but you're always, things change in the cars, and you're always feeling something a little different, and you're always learning something, getting more comfortable. But at Belva, I mean, it took probably a couple of years to really get, it takes sometimes a couple of years if you've never been in a car. I've only driven A-Mod, so.
Okay. When did you finally venture out to other tracks, like going to maybe a big track like Tri-City or Peevely or something like that?
Peevely. I used to run Peevely and Belva a lot, and then Highland sometimes, and then it turned into a lot of Peevely, and then Belva, and then then adventure all over, and now it's been run a lot less than we used to. It's just expensive now, so the time and kiddos and everything and stuff. So run mostly Highland now because just kind of works out that way. I like it there too.
What do you think the prospect of Belclair coming back? I mean, we've all heard the rumors.
A lot of rumors. I don't know if it'll be weekly or not. It probably will come back, but not sure if it'll be weekly or special shows or, well, it'd be cool. I did do a lot of laps of the old track. That was fun. That was fun there. Met some wins there. That was fun.
So some of your biggest success has been at Belclair?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jacob. I'm having a little bit of an issue. My dog's trying to unplug my light. Go ahead.
No, you're good. This is the first time I've let my dog in here too, and luckily he's not giving me fits. But like you said, racing's tough. Some nights you run up front, you run in the back the next night. It's expensive. It's time consuming. So what makes you keep wanting to do it?
That's the question everybody don't have the answer to. You just do it. I don't know. It's if you're right on the edge of doing real good or not. I mean, when you're right there, it kind of drives you more, I guess. You're just a little more. You're getting closer, but then everybody else is getting faster, and then you're getting closer again. Everybody else is getting faster. It's just kind of like a vicious little circle.
Yeah, I grew up racing. I do it now, and I talk with my uncle, Aaron Blumenstein's dad, and we talk, and I'm like, I love the sport of racing. It's in the blood, but it's kind of one of those things. It's, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's kind of a dumb hobby. Like people ask why you do it, because I run the Warrior class. I spend money on the car. It costs money to get there, and they're like, well, how much do you win? I'm like, nothing. I just get in free the next week. And they're like, why do you do it? I'm like, because it's fun. And, you want to give a good heartfelt answer, but besides it's fun and you get bit by the bug, that's kind of the only answer you can give.
It's fun. And then sometimes it feels like a job, like another job. When you run a lot, it is another job because you're working, you might mess with, 5 nights a week, but if you run a lot, but I run about half as much as we used to. So just like I said, the cost and everything just kind of it weighs on you, but yeah, I don't know what draws you in it. That's a good question. There's a lot of people. You meet a lot of new people. There's a lot of people at the racetrack. You see them, you haven't seen them all year, and you see them again, and then it's kind of like another. You meet a lot of friends and your connections through the racing world, and there's so many people I know through racing that help you out. And there's a lot of people, they're good people. You help each other out. You give parts to each other. And, I have a big truck with stuff, and I put a lot of crap in here. Just I'm thinking, well, I won't need it, but somebody else might need it. It really sometimes. So, weird stuff I'll carry. It just somebody might need it. That makes sense.
That's pretty cool, and I think that speaks to your personality. And again, like I said, you're one of the nicest guys out there, always willing to help. Got a question from the comments here from Aaron Blumenstein, one of our Pro Mod guys. He said, "Do you still feel and see improvement today, and how does it compare to the beginning of your career?"
Me?
Yeah, personally.
Oh yeah. It's weird to think back. Everybody's getting faster and faster and faster, and results were better. I mean, getting better, and they slowly get better. And sometimes I had a couple of years. There was a few years it was just not good, and then it started turning around, and then just I think there's improvements coming. Get information on what to do and driving style, and I changed a few things and kind of went back to how it used to be back in the day, and then it got better. And I've been on this, this car kind of stuff for a while, getting the shocks where you want it, the car where you want it, the style of driving. Um, it's I think it's improving.
What about, what about your racing program? I mean, talk about that and maybe who helps you with it. What do you attribute, your consistent performance and success to?
It's I'm working on stuff here, at nighttime. My dad works on stuff here at the house when I'm at work. Willie comes to races and helps. It's, a lot of time. Um, I mean, you just gotta. It's not one big thing. It's a lot of little things that really add up. Like washing the tires, to grinding the tires, the little, making sure the ride height, the every little, going over all the little things have to be one big thing. It's not one big, and then, and drivers, they make a difference.
I mean, the
So
car's there with you at the house or on your property.
yeah,
Yeah. So do you have a pretty consistent schedule week to week as far as, okay, on Sunday, we get it back out, we wash it down. I mean,
no,
I know you're a young father, you got young kids, so it's hard to
yeah,
sometimes juggle all that stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty well when you can. Like I do a lot of work on stuff, maybe late at night. I'm out night owl, so have a monitor with you or something and see what's going on, or just usually Sunday you better get the car out and clean it off and stuff, and then see how bad things are or whatnot. Sometimes they're bad. Like we got scrambling to get everything done, but we'll get it done. It's
So
always
having Willie there, having your dad helping out, I mean, they're
Mhm.
a big part of your program too.
Yeah, they're always there. And then it's people jump in and out. I got people jump in and out and help out the races, or you know so it's it's a lot of work.
Yep. Well, I think that kind of leads into the next question I got that Jacob's got.
Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot about you, Zeb, so I did some Facebook creeping. And
Oh,
one thing I noticed, and
never.
nothing bad, over probably like the 5 or 6 years, you're one that you really haven't changed up the race wrap. Some guys, one year, like Chad Zobrist, one year it's, black, purple, and green, and the next year it's blue and white. Is there any reason
We
for not switching it up?
used to be changed up a lot, and then they said you couldn't see the number, and then I am putting pink around it, and then that kind of popped better, and then started doing the pink on the number, and then the colors, and then Timmy started just we changed it to like a little bit, so you couldn't really tell much, but it kind of was the same wrap, and that turned into like a staple. Like, hey, here's the car. It looks like, well, whose car? You can spot it pretty quick on the racetrack. So this year's similar again.
Well, do we want to give the folks watching on live a little sneak peek of the 87Z new wrap?
You can, yeah, you can.
Let's see here if we can. There's
That's a preliminary there. It looks something like that.
Yep. So again, not on will not be debuted this weekend, right?
Nope. I put the we are working on the wrap. My wrap exclusive design. My wrap guy's out of town, so I put the whole old body back on that I ran. So you get to look at the old body again.
Beat up and battered, scars, everything, huh?
Pretty well. I always say the car show's over first corner, right? Get that out of the way.
But no, that's a sharp looking wrap, kind of a tiger pattern behind it. Got the 87 in the black with the pink. No, I think that's a sharp, very distinct looking car when it's out there on the track. So kudos on the design. Got a sharp looking car there.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Tim does a good job exclusive doing that stuff and with the wrap and we got everything like you're saying or that question earlier, engine stuff. We got Wetzel down there. That he's close, so Jeff Wetzel with Wetzel Automotive Machine, they do a pretty good job down there with everything. They got a full machine shop in house and stuff, so it's everything. If I got a problem, it's close, and stuff. So I got some other sponsors with me for a while.
Well, we're getting some heckling from the comments. Sean Horseman wants to know how many second place finishes do you have, Zeb?
I don't know, quite a few. Even thinking back in the day, not when I ran Highland all the time, but a lot of good finishes then, I think, if I remember. And, a lot of top threes, but never
in the big races too. In the big races too at Highland, you run well. Summer Nationals, Mars race. But man, you probably had 5 or 6 seconds last year. No, all BS aside.
If somebody like Owen was fast, real fast, we had some good battles.
Yep.
He ended up getting me on most all them battles. Seemed like so. He was fast, and then Mike would come in or somebody it's tough. Or Rick or anybody. It's just something's good. Something never just don't seems to never fall right together.
All the planets never quite aligned for you, but I think that night is coming.
They do want a great moon. It's been a little bit, a few years since a win again. So
we'll wait for a night with a big full moon. That's when we'll know it's coming. So well, how did you get your start in racing? And maybe who were some of your racing idols growing up? Your dad, anything like that. But yeah, what kind of cars did you get started in?
Amon.
But before that, were you racing anything?
Yeah, flat track. I flat tracked 4-wheelers, motorcycles. We would travel around running AMA, ATVA, racing all over those all over the place.
Now that's a pretty high risk sport. As far as injuries, things like that. What was your worst kind of injury that you had doing that?
I was pretty fortunate. You wrecked. I didn't break anything. Just a lot of wrecks, but I didn't break anything. I was lucky.
Did you start that young?
Probably. I couldn't drive yet, so I was a kid. I don't remember. I was probably doing like 13 on, maybe. Had stuff when I was smaller, but 13 on probably.
Yeah.
So about 20 in my early 20s. That's when I got the car. I sold the 4-wheeler stuff. That what I had, bike stuff, and got a car, and just jumped in an Amon.
And that was in 2009.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you have any racing idols? Anybody that you watched in Amons that you kind of?
So actually, my oldest daughter, her mom was Bobby Biddle's niece, so they were all involved in racing and kind of watched that and got the idea. So this looks cool. Let's sell all my stuff and get a car. I think they had said don't do it. So and there you go.
Here you are. Well, what about do you watch any racing now?
Honestly, I don't watch a whole lot. I did on the Summer Nationals and stuff like that on TV, but a little NASCAR stuff, but a whole lot of racing, watching, not a ton. It sounds funny, I know, but yeah, just it's I don't know. Willie always makes fun of me because I don't watch a ton of it. He's always telling me, chirping about this and this and this, and like, I'm always behind on the news coming in. He's telling me what's going on. I don't know what's going on half time. So,
well, I know Jacob's got a question for you about kind of your engine and stuff, but I did have somebody in the comments. We got the GOAT, Mike Harrison, chiming in the comments. He says, "I won't be there Saturday, Zeb, so it's all you. Good luck."
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, that's good. Thanks. Yeah, he's passed me many times.
Well, like you said, it's that scoreboard. If you see the 24 creeping up behind you on that scoreboard, do you drive a little different?
No, you don't have to. He Mike's Mike's good. So he'll if he's faster than you, he'll go around you.
He'll show you the nose and then
Oh,
start to work his magic.
he's pretty good with playing them. Pretty good with trying to get you rattled or something, but it's all good. It's racing.
Yep. Go ahead, Jacob.
You already mentioned you run one of Griffall's cars. Touch on what else kind of your setup is without saying too much. Engine, shocks. Did you guys do any updating to the car in the off season?
Yeah, I freshened the engine up. Like I said, I got back from Wetzel down there. It's good, pretty good engine. Shocks, Pacu, Steve Pacu over, SCP. He does those. Rusty. I had different cars. I used to have Shaws back in the day, Malinskis and Shaws. Then I had a Lightning. That's a good car too. Then I got back on Rusty's stuff, and it's kind of they were originally impressives. They got worked over. They were wrecked and got worked over, and changed a little bit, and kind of old school, aggressive kind of style driving the car, I guess you could say. Kind of they like the dirt a little more, you could say. When there's a little more moist, if it's slick, you better be trail braking a lot when it's slick. So, I mean,
I know
you
I
do
know
not.
Rusty's not afraid to cut and rework the car to see if something else works better, or
Oh
not afraid
no,
to go back the other way either.
yeah, he's got something else in the works right now, so he won't tell me yet. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, pretty well. We get a little help from everybody, just here and there. I got like Don Bacher. He's been with me a long time. Rich Don Bacher Trucking. He helped me. He's in town. Local guy helps me, and then Brian Thompson. They'll get some stuff for me, and then, little tires here and there help out. I mean, Tim helps with the wraps. Even like Marty at Chubby Chassis with the tires sometimes will help out. Just little, like I said, all the time, little stuff helps out all the time. But pretty well, we're gonna come out same car last year. I got a couple little tricks coming. Just some maybe for when it's a little slicker. We're close, just a little off. We don't have the technology in these cars is getting pretty good, so it's kind of hard to when it slicks off. It's hard to be right there, but sometimes a little luck helps.
Do you have a spring smasher you mess with, or is it just strictly scaling the car every week?
Pretty old school. I don't have any smashers or spring. I don't have any of that. And I actually don't have my own setup kind of now, where I know what springs I want to run and the ride heights, and they're different than I started, and that's pretty well how I go. I just change the springs a lot, and there's ride heights I want kind of now. Now that I found it, and did different setups over the years, trying different stuff, and I don't change much through the night. I mean, if you get it where you like it, you just I'm not changing bars, or I'm changing tires and a couple minor things, and that's it. Too much sometimes is you don't want to change. If you're right, just drive different for the feature from the heat. If that makes
Some people in the comments are noticing the Z-Man is maybe a little thinner this year in 2024. So somebody asked, "What's your off-season workout program look like?" Said you're looking pretty lean and sexy.
yeah, yeah, about 60 pounds down.
Wow, 60 pounds.
Yeah, I was like 180, 185. Just eating what you eat. That's a big. I do work out now, but just eating, not the junk and crap. And I was pretty bad about eating whatever. You know, soup was getting pretty tight on me.
You've been
Now
what about exercise? I mean, working out.
Yeah, I do that a lot. That gets late at night. A lot of that. Couple hours every other day, and then it turned into 3 on, 1 off maybe or something like that. It
You doing
worked.
cardio? You doing weightlifting? What are you doing?
No cardio. No running. Just mostly weight stuff, kind of at the house. Got some small stuff. Just and then I'm active. Work all day and don't quit till it's bedtime, whenever that is. You don't know.
Yep.
Late.
Hey, I
Usually late.
got another question from the comments here. Dale Holzinger, he's one of our biggest fans out there. He's always out there on Saturday nights. He says, does your racing style change between the different tracks? Going from Peevely to Highland to Tri-City.
I won't change the car much, but you definitely got to free it up or tighten it up a little bit. Like Macon, that's the tightest place in the world to go. You may change your ride heights a little bit, put some more right rear in it or something, but yeah, like Highland, you're off the gas a lot more than you would be somewhere else. Just, you do drive different. I don't change the setup, but I drive different.
Yep.
And every track drives different. Obviously they drive different. Like Highland's a tricky place to figure out. You can drive that place a little different.
Yeah, definitely. People say it's a technical track. What do you like about racing at Highland?
I
mean,
like
it's not the place that you come in and just dominate, and especially in the modified division.
The smaller tracks are pretty cool. I like the small tracks. And there's not a whole lot of them bull rings really out there. Macon's one, Belleville was one, Highland's one. Peevely's a good place to race. I've raced a lot of laps at Peevely. That's a good place. They're all, Granite. Granite was a hard place to figure out for a long time. That's tough. That's a tough place. The bigger ones require sometimes a little more motor, maybe. A little more wear on your tires and stuff. Engine wear. Fuel. It's a little cheaper running, let's say, Highland or something, you could say. But it's a cool place. The atmosphere is good at Highland. A lot of people at Highland. And the grandstands are everywhere. The pits, That's really coming.
You think the covered grandstand makes a difference? As far as the sound of the crowd, can you hear the crowd noise?
No, you can't hear that. No, you can't hear that. When you're on the racetrack, you mean?
Yeah.
Can you hear that? No, yeah, you're pretty well in the zone.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to say Brownstown. That's a great place to race too.
Yep. Agreed.
Brownstown. I've run a lot of laps there. That's a great place too. I keep forgetting. We go everywhere. Even the atmosphere. Highland's good. Brownstown. Everywhere's got a good atmosphere. So it's just the sport itself is a little tougher nowadays. So car counts it's a little tougher for the average guys to be running weekly.
Well, what does a place like Highland need to be doing to help, guys like yourself?
It's doing pretty good. Everybody's gonna say up pay, right? No, that's the one everything's gonna say that, but
yep.
Highland's come on strong. They got a lot of people. I've run there before. A lot. It's more people now than there had been in the past, but for sure, Highland. I don't know what you can do different. It's going pretty good. It's looking good.
Some more big modified shows wouldn't hurt, right?
Yeah. Those are good. Yeah, everybody's. It brings.
You've cashed some top 5 checks at races like Summer Nationals and Mars races and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bigger races pay a lot better and everything. And that does draw a little bit. Start money sometimes draws a little bit. Now instead of having a whole bunch from the top, let's say for the winner, it spreads out a little bit on a bigger race. That's nice. For example, like a Mod Mania race or the Mars stuff, things like that, where the pay through the field, like, hey, you got 8th place, but it paid really good, instead of just having a whole bunch to the winner, or something, That's a draw sometimes, I think.
What do you think of the format of the fair race when we did the King of the Hill?
That was cool. I think we need another lap.
Agreed. You and I are on the exact same page. I said the exact same thing. I would love to see, Yeah, 3 or 4 laps. If you make one little mistake in King of the Hill with 2 laps, it's over.
Yeah, that was a good battle. That was a good little. I got beat, so Kenny Wallace beat me there. That was good. That was a good format. One more lap would probably help. That'd be cool, I guess. I mean,
all right, Sean Horseman, if you're listening in the comments, I've been lobbying for it too. So we want one more lap for the King of the Hill at the fair race. So Jacob, go ahead. You're going to ask him about this upcoming season.
Yeah, what are some goals for this year? Win races, track championship, kind of along those lines.
I think, well, obviously win some races. I mean, some like 0-1. Oh, I got to steal some of those from Owen. Looks like now, he's tough. So, but I think it's winning some races is cooler than a track championship. You could say. I think if you get 3 or 4 wins, but if you get the wins, championship comes. It's just and it's always good not to tear the car up. That's always a plus. Getting the car to it, because there was back in the day a while where it was tough, and I was around like 13. I don't know how many times destroyed a car, won races, but then destroyed cars at the same time. It's like, it gets expensive.
And what's that do to your week? I mean, if you're spending 8 hours on the car on a regular week, what's it doing when you're tearing stuff up, or what's that time commitment looking like for you?
It's a lot of times it's money. You might get in a little debt or credit card stuff go flying around. It's unless you got a big backer or somebody, it's very difficult. Let's just say that you can get into debt in a hurry if you want. It draws you in, but you can get into debt in a hurry. So it that's difficult. It's not the time, but the money. You could say.
Are you and your team pretty crafty as far as being able to fix things and do a lot of stuff yourself?
Yeah. Nowadays, these cars are kind of a lot of the parts are, obviously bought like but like fixing tubes and the frame or stuff like that, body work, or that's okay. But when it comes to stuff tore up, you gotta just replace them usually, Yeah, there's pretty low budget around here, you could say. I mean, the old truck to the car, old engine, but it works.
A lot of sweat equity, and we know when Zeb Moake's pulling up with the big box truck.
Yeah, actually, it was originally this was a grain truck. This was a 1972 grain truck originally, but they stretched and put a cat motor in it and made the whole box and everything. Made the living area, made the hauler part and everything. It's pretty cool.
Wonder if it ever hauled cattle too or anything. If it ever had like flaps on the sides and
a tractor pulling guys built it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
It's unique.
What about
I like unique things. So,
What about, I know on the end of Jacob's question, I think he was going to ask you, would you ever think about moving up to like a late model or anything?
Probably. I mean, maybe, but I mean, probably not, just because you have to change. I'd have to change everything I have. And I've only run a mod, so all my stuff, engines, engine, I used to have 2, I'm down to 1. But that costs a little more money, so probably not.
Yeah. So where did where did the number 87 come from?
Well, that's when I was born. 87.
Okay.
I think that's where I came up with that, I think.
Easy enough.
I think. 251 was my bike number. So yeah, I think that's 87Z.
Why the yellow, black, and kind of the pink? Is there a significance to any of those colors?
No, you can see it. Stands out. Unique. There you go.
Agreed. Jacob, I think you're up.
Yeah. So Zeb, you're a dad to 3 young kids. What do your kids think about you racing, and do any of them show any interest of wanting to get into racing?
Oh yeah, my oldest, she rides dirt bike pretty good around Aurora, and Zane, the middle boy, he rides 4-wheeler, and he likes likes racing stuff a lot, and Landry, my little girl, she likes it too. They all like it, You're around it, if you're around it, usually they'll like it, So
Have you thought of if you're?
Oh. Zane's got a little Power Wheels thing. It looks like a modified. He likes that. He rides that thing around a lot, but he likes gas powered stuff now. He wants to go faster. So go karts.
Don't we all?
Something be next, go kart or whatever. When they get a little bit bigger, probably. With the carts with the wings, maybe. Something like that. I don't know if my oldest would like it, but
I think we saw your little guy running some laps at home on the 4-wheeler, wasn't
he? Yeah. That was just the other day. And Zane, he was actually at the was it last year? The last year for the Power Wheels race.
Okay.
He was out there and he wanted to go on the big track, so he took off straight and tried to run Sean over out there because he didn't want the little track.
Oh, he didn't turn. He just kept going.
Yeah,
he was gonna run the whole, just like Dad does.
Yeah.
That's
he went on the big.
That's great. Well, your driving style. You mentioned, we were chatting the other day about, you're not really a pedal masher necessarily. You don't restrict your engine. You're all kind of about throttle control.
Yeah, I mean it's decent. It's supposed to be. A 7, just right at 7, so it's good power.
700 horsepower.
Yeah, and it just tiptoe. I tiptoe too much sometimes, you could say. In the slick or whatever, I mean, it just, everybody's got their driving style, but tiptoe, I mean, especially when it's slick. But now I get on the gas, but I mean, obviously sometimes you're on it hard, but you'd be surprised at how off the gas you are compared to when you're on. Because when you're quarter throttle or something, the car gets jacked up and on the bars, and it looks like from the grandstands, look like you're flat out, but you might not. I've asked people many times half throttle and they're spinning the tires. It's a fine line. Sometimes your foot's on an egg, they say.
So in a feature, when it's slick out there, I mean, what's your pedal doing going into turns 3 and 4 for the finish?
If it's slick.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, with mine, there's a lot of trail braking. I'm on the brake and gas together.
Okay.
Keep the rail. I mean, if not, it doesn't work as good, but fine line of using both pedals together. Depends on your top, bottom.
What do you prefer? You prefer the bottom? You prefer the top?
Well, everybody gives me a lot of crap all the time. Here we go. Yeah, they drag on me. Everybody, all the time, running the bottom. Well, I mean, you make the bottom work. It's not that easy down there, but we can run the top, and we do sometimes, obviously. I mean, this works out that way, I get a lot of crap about running the bottom a lot. But, it's you got to go where they're not. You got to go where the dirt's at. You got to go make something happen sometimes, It's easy to make.
Sometimes you wear glasses. Do you wear glasses when you're driving?
Yeah. I just don't have them now. Yeah, those my funny glasses I wear all the time, running around, those are prescription. So, I wear them glasses. Actually,
so are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I'm nearsighted. I can't see far away real good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, a long time ago, I wore them glasses all the time, and Wade Glover with he's with Rick Knorr, and they didn't talk. They thought I was mean, some jack off because I had these glasses on and never smiled or nothing or something. So,
do you have any issues with them fogging up? Do you run a blower or anything on yours?
No, I don't have a blower. Actually, okay. Here. I'm in the truck, so here we are. Look at all them. She's old school. A lot of scratch. See here's all them scratches from the helmet flying many times.
How old is that helmet?
It's a good question.
Or do you not want to say? Maybe you shouldn't say.
Probably shouldn't say.
Chance, if you're listening, cover your ears.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't have no blower, nothing. Pretty low key, you could say. Everything's kind of low key,
Well, lost our co-host for a second. We'll get Jacob back on. There he is.
Uh-oh,
He's back.
He didn't like us.
He's back. So I think Jacob, you were up next.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most this upcoming race season?
Well, I mean, it's a long winter. I kind of take a pretty good break in the wintertime. I do a lot of other stuff in the woods a lot, or hunting and stuff, and doing things, and get back at it, and trying to, like you said, you're close to get them wins always. You think every year you're like, you get closer, but then you not there, and you get closer again, but you're not there. But just the atmosphere, the track, the atmosphere, I think, draws.
So you missed that.
That might be part of it. The atmosphere there, you see a lot of people. You can talk to a lot of people there. I mean, obviously, racing as a driver excites you. That draws you in. The racing does. So, if you're competitive, you just, a big draw, I guess.
When the Summer Nationals comes around, you going to run any other Summer Nationals races maybe?
Yeah, we used to run all the local stuff. We run, when they ran Belleville and Highland and Peevely, Macon, Brownstown. It just depends kind of the scheduling, and just now it's with the kiddos and everything. It's a little tougher to run all that stuff, especially during with work and things. If you want, you run everything if you could, but it can't happen. So
yeah,
definitely the local stuff. Try to hit that. So like Peevely or Brownstown. Besides Highland, Macon. I did like Macon. That's a cool little bull ring. I like the small stuff. So
you ever race up at Fairbury
or Grant too? No, I'd never been to Fairbury.
Okay.
Everybody rags on me about not going there, but it would go good, I think, there. It looks like a pretty cool track. Looks like it's got some good dirt. Good top and bottom,
Yep. Well, Jacob, do you have any other questions for Zeb?
No other questions. Just good luck this year.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll try to do good, I mean, we'll just, yeah, I mean, it's tough, but it's fun.
Well,
where it goes back to it's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was gonna say before, it's kind of becomes like a way of life. That's a good way of putting it. It's like it's like a hobby, but it's a way of life if you're racing a lot. So it gets in you, and the more time goes, and it gets easier or harder, or both actually. So both at the same time. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense, but it does.
Well, we're hitting that hour mark. It's probably about time we wrap up this episode of the Highland Dirt Podcast. So, Zeb, did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah. It's always good to talk. I was trying to think of all kinds of stories to say, but I haven't really told many. I mean, you race, 10, 15 years, 10 whatever years, and 15, or you got a lot of stories, but you forget half of them when you get on here. You forget all.
Well, let's get one. What's your biggest win, or kind of the biggest night that you've ever had at the track that you can remember?
There's
what sticks out in your mind?
There are a couple wins at Belleville. The Rihanna Memorial. Rusty finished second behind me. That was a pretty good one. That was and then the one long time ago, I actually passed Maverett, Matt Maverett at Belleville to win one. That was cool. The first one came at Brownstown, the old place. They're all kind of equal,
Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast with us. Is there anybody, your sponsors, people you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I had, I said, Dombacher on there and Wetzel. He's got a machine shop, down. He gave me a hat earlier, actually. See our hat here. Thompson Roofing and Exclusive Design and AML Design are on there, and Extreme Exteriors and Rusty, whole XRG car. Yeah, I get a little help from everybody, and that little bit helps. We're kind of pretty low budget around here, but hey, do what you do.
Yep, grassroots to the core. So Zeb, I'm pulling for you. I enjoy watching you race. You got a great attitude. I mean, if we could have 20 more Zeb Moakes at Highland Speedway, we'd have an even better track. So thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you on Saturday night. Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Hey, Zeb.
Well, I'd also like to thank my co-host today on the Highland Dirt podcast, Jacob Blumenstein. Jacob, tell everybody where they can find you during the day.
You can find me at Jansen Chevrolet in Germantown, Illinois. I'm at one of the 3 stores, but I can sell you anything off the 3 lots.
Yep. And let me remind everybody that the Highland Dirt podcast is brought to you by our friends at Jansen Auto Group. Hundreds of vehicles are available right now at gojansen.com with Jansen Ford Breeze, Jansen Chrysler Jeep Ram in Carmi, and Jansen Chevrolet in Germantown, where you can find Jacob. They have just the vehicle you're looking for. You can search their entire inventory at gojansen.com. That's gojansen.com. Jansen Auto Group is proud to support local dirt track racing and world famous Highland Speedway. Well, folks, maybe you want to be featured on the Highland Dirt podcast. Maybe you want to have a sign, sponsor a race at Highland Speedway. Last year in 2023, we reached more than 5 million people through social media, and it's only growing from there. Send us an email at highlanddirtpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to get you the information that you need. Well, folks, make sure you follow the Highland Dirt Podcast, the Highland Speedway on all socials, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, and don't forget, opening night 2024 at world famous Highland Speedway is just 2 days away, Saturday, March 23rd. I'm ready. Are you ready? You can also download this podcast where you find all your favorite podcasts, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And I'm Kurt Vonder, Haar, your host of the Highland Dirt Podcast. And remember, folks, whether it's Peevely, Brownstown, Tri-City, Belclaire, Highland Speedway, or your home track, get out there and support your local dirt track, would you? We'll see you guys next week.